Y'all, goal planning is hard for this girl. That's actually been my biggest Achilles heel my entire life. So yes, I can set goals, as in think about something I would like to have, but 3 minutes later, it's out of my brain and I haven't even created any sort of thought process around how I would achieve it. And then life just goes on. So if you've lived in that sort of willy-nilly fashion, as I have for a very long time, then today's video is for you, because I'm going to share with you the strategies that have really helped me become a bit of a goal-setting ninja, if I must say so myself. If you don't know me, my name is Karen McGill. I have ADHD, I am an ADHD coach, and I am here for the ambitious, busy brains that want to get snizzled on. So on that note, let's get right to it, shall we? So I'm going to take the approach of asking you questions about the goals that you're already setting for yourself or that you're thinking about setting. And I hope you find them helpful. And if you do, drop a comment below, let me know what the biggest takeaway was for you. But let's start with a Captain Obvious one, which is, are you actually setting goals that you even want to commit to? You know that Jim Rohn quote about you are the summation of the 5 people that you hang out with the most? Well, that's definitely true. And it also includes like the environment you put yourself in and the media that you listen to. All of that informs the goals that you set for yourself. And sometimes that's great. However, it can also really make you limited to setting externally focused goals. A great way to set goals that you will actually follow through on are goals that are intrinsically motivated. An intrinsic goal is based on your values. So I encourage you to take some time to really think about what's most important to you, what matters to you, and what's essential. From there, if you create goals that align to that, you are way more likely to actually follow through with them and be more jazzed about them for the longer term. The next thing I can ask you to think about is whether or not your goals are clear and actionable. Now, if you have a goal for getting healthy or earning more money, well, I can almost guarantee that's not going to work because that's not actionable. In fact, I have no idea how I would operationalize that. So what you really want to do is get very specific and clear about the goals that you're going after so that you can actually then start to map out a path to get to it. And just as a sidebar, if you do have ADHD, this is something that can be a bit of a challenge. And this was the hiccup that I dealt with for so long. But with a little bit of external support and just a lot more knowledge around how I like to do things, I've been able to get over it, and you can too. The next thing I would ask you is whether or not you have mentors and examples of people who have achieved the goal that you are going after. Now, like I said, we don't necessarily want to look to other people to set our goals, but what we do want to do is once we have made those intrinsic goals is to look to other people who have actually achieved them as an example of what is possible. Make sure those people make you feel good about yourself and don't make you feel all bummed out. So be very careful about the people that you follow in social media and the mentors that you choose in your real life. Make sure they're there to support and that they understand how your brain works and how you want to achieve the goal in your own way. Now, let's say you're one of those folks that, is kind of gung-ho out of the gate with your goals, but somewhere down the line, it fizzles out. Well, these next couple of questions will help you figure out what's going on there. So what I would then ask you is whether or not you're putting too much pressure on yourself to achieve this goal. So when we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, we tend to push things forward and force things that may or may not be a good fit. We also may make choices that may or may not be a good fit because we're racing to the finish line. So slow and steady is always going to give you the best possible chance of making the right decisions and taking the right steps and actions towards your goal, and that the end result is exactly what it is you want. It's going to be hard, but it's truly the way that you're going to get to your final destination and not poop out somewhere along the way. Now I would ask you, do you have a plan for distraction? Because if you have a distractible brain, then it's likely that you are at some point just going to find a shiny new penny and go off in a new direction. And if you're constantly doing that, then you're never completing a goal because too many shiny objects to go after. So have a plan, have accountability, have structure so that you will follow through, so that you're not getting distracted by all the other fun things that you could be doing instead of actually working towards your goal. Okay, this next one is really important, and a lot of my clients get hung up here. Are your expectations about the goal reasonable? So if you are ambitious and you've got big dreams, big goals that you want to go after, you're probably very focused on the outcome and not thinking enough about the process and how hard it's going to be at certain points. So when you break it down and you realize that yes, it's going to be hard, but yes, I've got strategies to get past it, then you are much more likely to push through those hard moments. And when you do push through the hard moments, you usually come out the other side realizing, oh, it wasn't actually all that hard. And what that does is break down fear-based beliefs in your brain so that the rest of your journey towards your goal becomes like easier and smoother as a result. This is a great way to break down a negative cognitive bias, and it's going to help you and serve you well as you go on to do hard things throughout your life. So definitely make sure your expectations are in check. And finally, I would ask you if you are tracking your goals. Now, this is different from having a measurable goal. A measurable goal might look like I want to have 5,000 followers on YouTube. And while I can do everything in my power to do that by a certain date, it's not really up to me whether or not people subscribe. By the way, I would love it if you did. Now, if I had a trackable goal, then I would be focused more on the process. So I'm going to release a new video every Friday and promote the heck out of it after I do that and come back and answer comments. And, I'll get to that 5,000 mark when I do, but I'm going to focus on the behavior. Then you have a lot more agency over making that happen. And that's going to build your confidence muscle around moving toward goals now and in the future. So look at how you're going to track that goal and make sure that you're focused on consistency rather than outcomes you can't control. So that's it. And those are all the questions I'm going to be asking myself as I create my Q2 goals so that I can crush those as well. So I've written all of the questions that we chatted about today in the description below. So go ahead and copy those and just stick them in wherever it is that you're going to be doing your goal setting and goal planning. And I hope this was helpful. If it was, tell me what you're taking away from it and how you're going to remember to follow through with it. And if you like this video, also please consider subscribing so that I can hit my goals. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.